All right, shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom to the 12 tribes of Yasha, giving the chorus all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. All right, that's all praise, honor, glorification unto the Most High God, Yahweh, and the names of the begotten Son of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. All right, who the world refers to as Jesus Christ, and he is the Savior of the nation of Israel. All right, shalom, shalom. So I'm going to get straight into this, right? Let's go to the book of Baruch, chapter 2, and verse number 18. It says, "But the soul that is greatly vexed, which goeth stooping and feeble, and the eyes that fail, and the hungry soul will give thee praise and righteousness, O Lord." So the soul that is greatly vexed. The soul, the spirit that is greatly vexed. And who's greatly vexed in this world, in this captivity? We're greatly vexed in this captivity. We're vexed in our spirits. By what? The wicked conversation that we hear on the day-to-day basis, right? Just like how, pursuant to the book of, let's go to that, in the book of 2 Peter chapter 2, right? Let's go to 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse number 6. "And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with the overthrow, making them an example unto those that shall live ungodly, and delivered just Lot." So Lot was righteous in the eyes of the Most High, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. So he was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked, right? So Lot was vexed. We even see in the book of Isaiah that the Lord himself is vexed in his spirit, right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 63 and verse number, I think I want to start at verse 10, but let me see, right? It's Isaiah chapter 63. I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, "In all their affliction, he was afflicted." So meaning when the Most High afflicts us, guess what? His spirit gets afflicted as well. Because we're the Lord's people. Just like how a father might chastise his son. But at the end of the day, he might feel bad for him in his spirit, right? Because ultimately, just like how a father doesn't want to see his son in pain, right? And destroyed and in affliction, but he may have to afflict him just so that he can learn correction. It's the same way with the Most High God Yahweh and with Israel. It says, "In all their affliction he was afflicted, and the angel of his presence saved them. In his love and in his pity he redeemed them." So the Most High God always redeemed us from our captivity. First from the Egyptian captivity, then on to the next captivity after that. Then after the next captivity after that, when you read Judges, under the hand of Cushan Resethenu, under the Philistines, and et cetera, et cetera. It says, "And the angel, Slaki, in his love and in his pity, he redeemed them, and he bare them and carried them all the days of old. But they rebelled and vexed his Holy Spirit." So we, by our wicked actions, vex even the Lord's Spirit, right? So the Spirit of the Lord is vexed by wickedness. The righteous of Israel is vexed by wickedness. So our souls and our spirits is vexed in this captivity. We're vexed by the flesh, right? The fact that we keep going off, we keep coming short to the glory of the Most High. We're vexed at our conditions in terms of work. What I've seen for most Israel in this captivity, in this world right now, is that they can either not find enough work to provide for their families. They can't, barely getting hours, barely getting work. It's either that, or it's either that you're working so much that you're overworked. These are the two conditions for most of our people in this captivity right now. Is that you have work, you have a job. Okay, come, all praises. You're bringing money to the table, but at the same time, you have to overwork. You have to pull out 12-hour shifts, 10-hour shifts, right? You have to work all the days of your life just to get by, right? Just to put food on the table. That's the state and condition that our people are in, the majority of our people are in. And then you have the few percent of our people that are millionaires or billionaires, or living fat in this land. But most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they're in sin, right? So let me keep going. Verse 11. "Then he remembered the days of old, Moses and his people, saying, where is he that brought them out of the sea with the shepherd of his flock? Where is he that put his Holy Spirit within him? Right? So let me go back to that though. Right? So let's go back to Baruch chapter 2. Right? It says, but Baruch chapter 2 and verse number 18. But the soul that is greatly vexed, which goeth stooping and feeble. So the Most High is looking for the spirit that is vexed, right? Those of us that are vexed in this captivity, our spirit and our souls being vexed in this captivity, we're going to be praising the Most High that much more, right? Because when your spirit is vexed and you understand why it's vexed, then that brings you closer to the Most High, right? Just the fact that our spirits are vexed at the sight of wickedness, that our spirits sigh and cry at the sight of wickedness, at the hearing of these things that we hear, right? Just like Lot, in seeing and hearing, vex his righteous soul day to day with their unlawful deeds, their ungodly deeds. Just the very fact, and we consider that fact, that's a good thing. All praise to the Most High. Because guess what? People in the world, their spirit is not vexed when they see wickedness. The Most High said, delight not in the things that the ungodly have pleasure in. Right? So the ungodly, their spirits are not vexed when they see wickedness. Their spirits, on the contrary, their spirits are vexed when they see righteousness. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, right? Chapter 29 and verse number 27. It says, an unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way. So if you're keeping the commandments, you're putting on your fringes, you're growing your beard out, you're not eating unclean foods, you're keeping the laws of the Most High. It says, he that is upright in the way is abomination to the wicked. You're an abomination to the wicked man, to the wicked woman. They don't want to have really anything to do with you. You keeping the laws of the Most High. They look at you as a party pooper. They look at you as, someone that doesn't know how to have fun. Right? Just do it. Just eat it. Right? Just try it. You never want to try things. You got to try new things. Oh, it's not that serious. Right? You mean to tell me you can't do X, Y, and Z on the Sabbath because it's the Sabbath? They mock us. They mock literally people that's upholding moral values, right, in this world. And that even go to, and even on the grand scheme of things, they'll mock you for upholding moral values, right? It doesn't even have to be with the laws of the Most High, right? You look at how some people even mock the moral values of Islam. I don't subscribe to Islam. We as Hebrew Israelites don't subscribe to Islam or the doctrine of Islam. But sometimes they're mocked because they themselves and their religion have moral values. It's haram or unclean, meaning it's a sin to drink, to smoke, right? Or I don't know if they say smoke, but I know actually not smoking. I believe that you can smoke in Islam, but you can't drink, right? You can't eat pork, right? The women have to be covered, X, Y, and Z, right? And certain people that follow Islam are even mocked because they uphold those moral values. How much more the moral values of the Most High? Because they taken that from the Bible, right? Quran, the recitation of what? The Bible, the book that was revealed before, as it says in their own book, right? So again, if people are mocking the moral values that Muslims uphold, how much more the moral values that we're upholding, right? And that's why we're vexed in this captivity. That's why we're vexed in this world right now. Because of the mocking, because of the ridicule, because of the fact that we have to work all the days of our life. Because again, prior to Adam, and prior even towards, prior to Adam falling into sin, we didn't have to do that. You didn't have to work all the days of your life just to eat bread, just to get some bread or food to the table, man. Let me just get that. Let me bring that out real quick. And again, in the kingdom of heaven, which that's what we're working towards. We're not keeping up with all the latest things that's happening in the world, right? And what I mean by that, I mean the vanities of the world, right? Who won the football game? I don't care about that. But let's go to, Genesis chapter 3 and verse number 17. It says, and unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. What is this tree? This tree is a nation of people, the proto-Canaanite, right? The proto-Canaanite. And really, when you look at the spirit of this tree, right, or Slaki, I should say, of this nation brings forth evil fruit that we cannot eat of it, right? And it's just like the fruit or the doctrine of the works that the Canaanites brought forth that we couldn't make a league with, pursuant to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1, right? Even in Psalm chapter 58, verse 3, it says that their poison is like a poison of an adder, right? Let's not quote it. Let's just get it, right? Let's just get the precept, all right? This is Psalm chapter 58, verse 3, right? It says, the wicked are ashamed from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. We know who that in specific is talking about, Esau, right? It says their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which would not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. So Esau's knowledge and doctrine and wisdom is like poison, the poison of a serpent or of a snake, which slowly kills you, right? You have a lot of poisonous snakes in the world. Some can kill you slowly, some can kill you very fast, right? But again, Esau's doctrine is like the poison of an adder or of a serpent. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 32. It's another precept on that. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32, all right? And verse number, let's see here, all right? Want to get this precept. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse number 32. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. Their wine is a poison of dragons and the cruel venom of asps. What does that mean? Their wine is a poison of dragons and the cruel venom of asps. What is the wine talking about? It's not talking about actual wine, right? All the, the famous wines, the Passover wine that brothers get, or whatever the case, or red wine, plum wine, white wine, whatever. It's not talking about real wine. This wine is talking about the philosophy and doctrine of Esau that he brings, that he makes you drink thereof, right? That's what that's talking about. So, lucky. It says that their wine is a poison of dragons and the cruel venom of asps. Meaning that, look, if you drink the poison of a snake, what's going to happen to you? You're going to die, right? If you let this snake bite you, you're going to die. If you don't get help soon, if you don't get the antidote, within minutes, you could die from a certain bites of a snake. You have rattlesnakes, very, very dangerous. You have the black mamba, for example. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of different snakes that even on a physical level, if they bite you, you could die within a matter of minutes. So it's the same thing with Esau and his doctrine and philosophy. If we let his philosophy get into our system, our body, our temple, if we are not careful, we don't have the antidote with us. This antidote, which versus the poison. Again, the only antidote that we have is the words of the Most High, the true doctrine of the Most High. And I'm going to get that precept real quick on that. Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon. I think I wanted 16 and 12. It says, for it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health, but thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things. So the words of the Most High heals all things. So that's that antidote that we need in this world to reverse the poison that has poisoned our minds. All brothers had poisoned minds and poisoned spirits in the world. You know, so we come to this truth. We take of this medicine being the words of the Most High, the true doctrine of the Lord, right? And we take that antidote. We take the medicine, right? And it helps us, right? And it helps our immune system on a spiritual level, right? If that makes sense. But nevertheless, going back to this, right? I'm gonna just go back to Baruch chapter 2. Baruch chapter 2, verse 18. But the soul that is greatly vexed, which goeth stooping and feeble, in the eyes that fail in the hungry soul, will give thee praise and righteousness, O Lord. So, you know, something that occurred to me today. But I mean, you know, I was just thinking about this today, really. This Bible really speaks to the poor man, right? To the poor woman. To the woman that doesn't really have a lot of things in this world. To the man that is despised in this world. That's what the Bible really speaks to. Yeah, I mean, hey, can a man that's rich come into the truth? Yes. But did Yahweh Shah say that it's harder for him to come in and to actually get the kingdom? Most certainly, right? He said it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. That's Matthew chapter 19, right? And verses 21 on down, right? I'm going to just read a precept from there. It's Matthew 19 and verse number 21, right? It says, Yahweh Shah said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. You see that? And then let's go down to verse, and again, you know, that young man, when he heard that, he didn't want to sell his stuff and follow Yahweh Shah. Verse 23, then said Yahweh Shah unto his disciples, verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. So when you read this Bible, it's really speaking towards the poor, to the hungry souls, right? To the ones that don't have everything in this world. The Bible talks about the poor and righteous man. Who is that poor and righteous man? If you're rich and that's all you knew, that's all you knew. It's like it. That's all you know in this world is being rich. Let's say, for example, an Edomite that has generational wealth from generations. And we know where they got that wealth from. But nevertheless, let's say an Edomite that's been born in a mansion, born having servants, born having all these things, born having a 12-car garage with 20 cars, right? You know, born with all this money. They go and read the Bible. How are they going to connect with the Bible? How are they going to connect with the Israelites being oppressed and poor? How are they going to connect with righteousness of the Most High? How are they going to connect with Yahweh Shah, who wasn't rich? You know, David was rich because he became king. That's why he was rich towards the latter end of his life. He wasn't rich when he was a little boy, when he was coming up. He acquired that money over time. So he's an example of, you know, as they say in the capitalist society, someone that came from rags to riches. Solomon was born rich, of course. He was the king, right? But nevertheless, there's a lot of men in the Bible that were not born rich or having many possessions. And even if they did acquire those possessions, still remain in a humble spirit, right? Many examples of that. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, right? And these were still hardworking men. They earned their riches. Again, you have a lot of Edomites, generational wealth, and they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything to get that money, right? That wealth. I didn't want to make this too long, but, you know, it's all the spirit, right? Let's go to Genesis. Actually, let me get this in the Bible. I'm not going to pull it up. I'm going to just get it in the Bible real quick. This is Genesis. All right. This is Genesis chapter 26 and verse number, let's see here. This is Genesis. Is this Genesis 26? Let me see here. Select here. Right. Okay, hold on. Right. Okay, Khan, Salakia, right? Okay, Khan, right here. All right, all praises. This is Genesis chapter 26, verse number 12. Then Isaac sowed in that land and received in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great and went toward Salakia forward and grew until he became very great, for he had possession of flocks and possession of herds and great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him. You see that? So Isaac, he grew rich. And this is after he had Isaac and Jacob. It's like it, Jacob and Esau. This is after that. Right? So he was well above 40 years old when he grew rich. Right? So again, you know, Isaac, and again, it says that Isaac sowed in that land. He was working for his riches, and the Most High gave him 100-fold. Right? So our forefathers, they worked for their riches, even if they did acquire those riches and acquire that wealth. They worked for it 9 times out of 10. You know? So that's how they was able to remain in that humble spirit. But nevertheless, right, this Bible really speaks to the poor of this world, right? And I'm end it off with this, right, through the Spirit. This is James chapter 2 and verse number 5. Hearken, my beloved brethren, hath not God chosen the poor of this world rich in faith and heirs of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him? This Bible is full of encouraging words, words of wisdom, words of poetry, words of destruction, of war, and of woe. The Bible is full of these things. And it speaks to us as being the poor. All right? But nevertheless, right, going back to the verse that kind of ended off, let's go to Baruch chapter 2, right? And again, verse number 18. But the soul that is greatly vexed, which goeth stooping and feeble, meaning stooping down in that humble spirit, right? And the eyes that fail, and the hungry soul, both on the spiritual and physical level. You go to Matthew 5 and verse 8 on down, it'll talk about, blessed are they that are hungry and thirsty for righteousness, for they shall be filled. It says, will give unto the Lord, neither lucky, will give thee praise and righteousness, O Lord, man. Right? They will give you praise. They will give you righteousness. So with that, all praise to Yahweh, Shem, Masha, Wabalaki, Awashah, the water for tuning in. Kwame Yasha Allah.